Namaste, I am Nivedita. I work as an adolescent guide here in CREMON Montessori Life School. CREMON Montessori Life School was started in the year 2007. It's been 15 years of us in this journey. Here with me I have my colleague and friend Manogna. Manogna works as a primary guide here in CREMON. So it was actually Vinya Devi ma'am's vision to start this school. Vinya Devi ma'am actually thought about this school because she wanted to bring about a change in the education system. So while talking about change in the education system, do we actually know what education really means? Manu, have we thought about this? What does education really mean? Is it the same way that we learnt?
Definitely not.
Back at school, rote learning and how much do we actually remember, right? So this question always bothers, I think, every parent. So when we look at education, is it only academics or is it beyond? Is it a way to aid your life, right? It should be something which enhances your daily living. So that is the main vision and what we want to cover here and work in CREMON Montessori. When I say Montessori, it actually caters from the age 2.5 to 16. Don't we all have this common myth that it's only Montessori is from 2.5 to 6 and then we move on, right? But actually it is there till 16 years old. So that's something that I want to highlight. So talking about the Montessori philosophy, it was it was actually developed by Maria Montessori. It was developed hundreds of years ago, right? I think we all look up to Maria Montessori, and it is her vision and guidance that we are all having this kind of education system here. So Maria Montessori, even though she developed this method hundreds of years ago, it is still relevant. And it being relevant till now is because of the only reason that the child has remained the same. The children's needs have remained the same. So when I say need, the child might be born anywhere, right? It might be born here in India, Europe, America, no matter where. The child's needs always remain the same. So this has been scientifically developed with lot of observation. Maria Montessori actually observed thousands of children and then she's come up with this method. Grateful for her for introducing us to this method. So here in CREMON Montessori, we have 3 environments. One for the primary environment, which caters from 2.5 to 6, and then 6 to 12 for the elementary and 12 to 18 for the adolescent. So here Manu will talk a little bit about the primary environment. Manu, would you like to tell me what's your role and how does the primary environment works?
Sure. So as you just said, I work with children from 2.5 to 6 years. So that's the primary level. And traditionally, you would refer to me as a teacher. But here we are no teachers, we are just guides. Children are their teachers, right? Even before they came to school, they learned so many things. They picked up a whole language, they could understand it. They learned so many words, they learned to walk. Aren't these great achievements, right? They thought it all themselves. So they are their own teachers, and when they start coming, when they are about 2.5 years, when they start coming to school, the change that happens is and actually, like, how did they pick up all these skills, right? Even before they came to school, how did they actually get there? How did they learn to walk? So there's this inner need for the child to learn these things, right? And he has this capacity to learn because he's able to absorb whatever is happening around him.
Correct.
Right, and as he moves on, as he gets older, when he starts coming to school, he still has this capacity to learn from things around him. But at this age, he starts picking them up consciously. He's thinking about it. What choice do I do? What work should I pick up today? What clothes should I wear today? So we're trying to use these capacities at the primary level. So here we have beautiful material. So when you walk in the doors, you will see this beautiful material where the child chooses, he picks up activities and he self-learns. So we are just there to guide them of how to use the material, but it is the child who works repeatedly. It is his inner need to work, and he picks up concepts beautifully.
Yeah. Manu, would you also like to highlight how the furniture is all at the child's level?
Yes.
And also here we don't see benches.
Yes, exactly. So it is not a typical classroom. There are no benches, there are no chairs. So all the children, it is one big environment where all the children are welcomed inside from 2.5 to 6. they work at the floor level. They take maths, and all of them are spaced in the same space. All of them work there. So it's beautiful. I mean, we don't have punishments, we don't have rewards. There's no stars on their hands, nothing. These younger children are so inspired. They're seeing these older ones work, and they want to get there.
Yeah.
So it is always the inner drive. It is always self thought. We don't have to push them. Also, they work wonderfully. And actually the older ones also, they're so responsible. You should see how they help them during snacks time, how they help them if they're stuck with an activity, be it play time. So this mixed age thing, I think for all, starting at the primary level, but even going through elementary and the upper ages also, mixed age thing is, I think, one of the biggest benefits of the Montessori method.
I think, isn't that the same way we all learnt, Manu?
Yes.
Like right from the beginning, we always look up to our parents. It starts right from the home, where we look up to our parents, and then we try to imitate what our parents are doing. It's the same way, right? When they come here, they see the older children doing things, and they want to do the same things.
Yes.
When things can be handled in a simple way, why do we need textbooks?
Yeah.
Why do we need a syllabus, right? I think we should actually help the child explore his own abilities and promote them, rather than making him sit in a place and asking him to rote learn things. And it's basically a memory test is what I feel.
Yes, definitely. I mean, here the child in his process is trying to understand his interest at a very young age.
Yeah.
It took me years, and sometimes I don't even know, probably, sometimes I couldn't express my interest, or I didn't find my interest. But I think these children, through the activities they choose, and they feel that their work is, they're respected.
Yeah.
Because they have the freedom to choose, right? Nobody is always dictating them. And children, wherever they are, like you mentioned, nobody wants to sit in a place, especially these young children of 2.5 to 6. They don't want to sit there, right, ideally, and just get instructions. They want to keep moving, and that's how this method actually works. This child is constantly moving. He's seeing the other children work. All their needs, their need to repeat the activity. That's how they learn.
Right.
And here they have the choice when they want to do it.
Yeah.
It is not that teacher is dictating that you do this work now, right? So that day he has interest to do math, and he constantly keeps repeating that work. So all their needs are addressed in this method.
Manu, also another thing I want to ask you, what are the areas that we focus here at primary?
Yes. So we have 4 major areas. Our children today were working on, what we call as activities of practical life, where they're cutting things, they're sewing a button, they're actually tying a lace. So all this, like you were saying, that this whole method is, the education is for the life, right? It's not for any exam.
Yeah.
So here, even though they're learning this as skills, but there's so many things happening indirectly. This child is learning to clean up things. He's feeling responsible for his other friends.
Yeah.
He's feeling responsible for the environment, right? He's learning to take care of things. He's learning to take care of himself. So the lace is just not an activity. It is helping him to be independent.
Correct.
It's boosting his confidence. So, there's so much of personality that's being developed, and it becomes his second nature.
Correct.
So it's very wonderfully done in the method, where the whole model thing, it's not a lecture to be told,
Yeah,
right?
it's not a
So
class.
it is happening organically in the education itself. So that's one area they focus, and the other thing which we call sensorial, again, based on the needs. This child, like I said, he wants to move, he wants to touch. That's how these children learn. They want to touch, they want to feel, right? They want to sense them. So we have beautiful material where they actually use all their senses. There's a noise box where they hear, they're building, they're understanding dimensions, they're actually feeling them.
Yeah.
So this actually helps them to become conscious of all the things. They want to know what is this around me, and it is given beautifully through their senses, right? So they're able to actually feel and understand what is it that's happening around me. So they learn about shapes, they learn about how these shapes and everything could be used to construct something.
Correct.
And also, yes, obviously skills, everything are important, and our children also do language, math, which is very important too. And
Absolutely.
just that these children love to do it. Nobody will, not want to do math. They want that material, because it is all experiential learning. they want to do it because they want to experience that material. Even math, like we don't give it as a number one. They have to take it as a quantity, that what is the meaning of this number, right?
Yeah.
So it is all experiential learning, and be it math, be it reading, writing, everything they do wonderfully here.
That's nice.
They use their senses, and they
Because we always think that when the child is 3-year-old or anything, he is absolutely ready for school. Ready for school is like a daycare, maybe where he could be taken care of, or he has to learn the letters and numbers and nothing beyond that. Have we even thought that the child of that age can be independent? Have we thought that the child can be responsible? Yes. That he actually is learning everything just by observing?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Actually, like you were saying, right? So all these developments, we're not just catering to the psychical, the academics, right?
Yeah.
So there is so much other developments, like the social development, right?
Yeah.
So these children, be it snacks time, they're laying mats for their friends, and they just because one child spilled, it is not that he's only going to clean.
Yeah.
Their all friends are going to help them clean.
Yeah.
So it is beautiful.
Yeah. So that was a small glimpse of how our primary environment works, right?
Just to sum it up, I'll just try to get where do these children get at the end of at the primary level. So they are independent, in taking care of themselves. Through this life skills, at the very beginning we show them how to carry things properly. Isn't that important? You don't want a child to drop, but have you ever shown them how to carry it properly, right? How to even sneeze properly. So there are wonderful ways in which this child is learning to take care of himself. He's being independent in taking care of the environment also. And see, so because he's feeling, this responsibility, and like you said, he has this thing that I can do it myself.
Yeah.
Right. That is the achievement that at the end of the 6 years is, he says that I can do it all myself. Right. He's become this independent person. And
true.
Yes.
Thank you, Manu, for this small glimpse that we got. But with all this independence and responsibility and everything, what next, right?
Yes.
Because Montessori is known for this 2.5 to 6-year-olds. Do we know beyond it? Beyond this, we think it's grade 1, grade 2 and the same story, right?
Yes.
When we think of our education system, let's look back. How was this even brought into picture? It was brought by the Britishers, right? When they thought of introducing an education system for us, it was for a different purpose. Why do we have to stick to the same education system?
True.
It's been 75 years that we are independent. Even our education system also should evolve along with our independence. That's when we are truly making our children independent, right? So after all this acquired independence, responsibility and all that, if you again move them back to benches, what is the use of this whole preparation that we do, right? And when we are telling that each phase is for addressing the need of the child, have we thought what a 6 to 12-year-old child needs?
Yeah, what are his needs, right?
Right. So in the elementary environment, now that they are ready with whatever preparation they have,
so I've told you so much about the primary, and I'm definitely interested to hear from you about how the elementary works. This child is completely, by the end of the primary level, you see this child is actually changing. So could you actually just tell us, like, what are the needs there when in the elementary level?
Definitely. So even I, back at home, both me and Manu, we have a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old at home. So the same child who we've been seeing through years actually changes so much. And we keep wondering, is it my own child? Something happening, right? Have we actually thought what are the needs of that child? How is it evolving, and are we evolving as parents? That's something that we should ask, right? We still think that he's our child, the little one who should be catered to. But right now, after his primary education, he has so much of independence and he's so responsible for himself, right? So right now, you might see that all his questions are changing. Earlier, they would only ask you the name of that object, right? Now the questions are certainly different. You might think they want to test your knowledge, but they're actually having a reasoning mind right now. So with this reasoning mind comes a lot of curiosity, and with that curiosity comes a lot of many questions, right? So how should our education system be? How should we actually enhance this curiosity? How do we direct them so that they ask the right kind of questions, right? And they have a lot of imagination. Earlier, they want to see things in reality. Now, they have this power of imagination and they can understand abstract things.
Okay.
So, what do they do with all this?
So what age group are you referring to when you say the elementary?
When I say elementary, I say between 6-year-old to 12-year-olds.
Okay, so it's, yeah, so in a regular school it's first grade to the 6th grade.
Yes, first grade to 6th grade.
So how does it work there? Like, is it like class wise, is it done, or how do they work?
So right now they have all the social skills needed. They want friends, they want to be talking, they want to form their own groups, set their own rules, right? And there's so much of communication that they need during this time, right? So here all the activities are presented, and we introduce them with stories. Anything that we start is with a story. We tell them some detail about it, and we have timelines. When people will be looking at a glimpse of our environment, you can see how our timelines are. The material itself is so beautiful, and with these timelines they start exploring things. There's a lot of group work, collaboration. Instead of a teacher giving a lecture and we making notes or we refer textbooks, here there's research. And the child will learn only when he has that question in his mind. So that is something that he'll never forget, because it all started with his own interest, right? It's not because he has to answer a question, get the right answer and he actually passed. It's not that way, right? It's different. So that's how, with the group work and collaboration, that's how we are addressing their needs.
Okay, but then how are the academics done then?
It's a question that every parent asks, right?
Yeah.
So when we say academics, is it only math, language and everything, and should it be like different subjects?
Definitely not. At least currently I think, they have to be interrelated, right?
And
Yeah.
when we talk about history, what are we learning about?
Names of,
Yeah, mainly about the battles
Year, yeah.
and right. Of
Yep.
course, it's a part of our history. We are also a proud Indian, but we should also show them a different angle to it, and how all these subjects are interrelated, right? We have to develop those moral values to them. That it has been such a long effort and a struggle for us to be at a place where we are today. When we are here today, we should be grateful for our past and we should look ahead for our future. So giving those right moral values is so important. And when it is a part of the story and a part of the material, there is no preaching. It all happens in a very organic way. So that's the best part. So with the academics and everything, so now if we take the story of life, or we tell them a story of how it all started, right? How we all humans actually came into picture. So they learn so many things about dinosaurs and everything. So at that point of time, there is so many subjects involved in it, right? We have history, where they know about who found out this particular thing, so they'll read biographies. History is not restricted only to battles and riots and everything. Of course they learn about that, but along with that there are inspiring things also that they learn, right? There is math. When you have to think about multiplication or any basic arithmetic operations, we are given a problem and you solve it. That's how it generally works. Have we allowed the child to think beyond, like in millions of years, billions of years, what it actually means, right? When we say dinosaurs were extinct, how many years back were it extinct? What do you have to use for that? Your basic operations.
Yeah.
So we create that need, and that's how math is learned. Language, when it comes to language, we all do this letter writing and everything, right?
Yes.
But I know it's the generation of email and computers and everything, but still in our syllabus right now, we still have letter writing. It's considered a skill, right?
Yes.
Why do we have to write a letter, Manu?
When we want to express something, or say something to somebody, right?
Yeah. Right. But at present, right now, if we have to express something or anything, we all have our mobiles, we text, WhatsApp and all of that, right? We have so much social media right now. But actually, if you see, our government offices till date actually work with when we present them a letter,
True.
That's how it works. Coming to the current scenario, I think that's where we are using letters.
Yes.
Right? Unless and until you have a pen pal or something like that. So when do we have to write a letter to the government or anything? It is basically when there is a need, when they want to do something for the community. Here in CREMON, I can quote one example. We have a lot of cleanliness issues, and in this area, because of the season, there are a lot of mosquitoes. I'm sure everyone is experiencing this back at their homes. So the children did not stop saying that there are mosquitoes. we took up this letter writing to another level by suggesting the children that there are mosquitoes, here is a problem, how are you going to address it? And when we told them that, they said we have to talk to the concerned community or concerned person who can do something for us. So this letter writing was used as a means to communicate to the government. So a letter was not written just for the sake of it, right?
Isn't this is the true education, right? He's applying it for life.
Yeah. So when there is practical application, when he is experiencing things, I think that is where it is making a holistic development. Later on in your life, if you face any problem, you know what has to be written, you know where it has to be posted. He's prepared for life.
He's actually going through the entire process. He's seeing it all. Yeah.
Right. So that's how we tell in elementary. I want to bring this to everyone's notice that we do cater. There is something beyond 6-year-olds. Please get to know more about elementary, and there is a lot many things and that the children can do. Yeah, in a while you will be seeing all the work that our children are doing. It's not only science. There's so much of in-depth things that they do. There's so much research work that is involved. Here children are working on plant kingdom, and they're working with so many things in mathematics. They do squaring, cubing. Formulas are not taught, formulas are derived. So there's so many things happening. You should have a look at that.
So it was the complete rebirth of my daughter, going from the primary to elementary, and I've heard so much about teenager problem, right? So this elementary is from 6 to 12, and I really don't know what to expect because I've heard from a lot of people what all happens. So could you like to share, Nivedita, about what this child is after 12 years?
Yeah, so I think very little is known about teenage, and they're always associated with these terms, right? Teenage problems. Yeah. There's a dramatic change. Oh, don't ask me, I have a teenager back at home. So many things that we get to hear. But have we really thought what that child is going through? Suddenly, why those changes, right? You see see the child being lethargic right now, wants to sleep for a longer duration, right? And he doesn't want to mingle with everyone, or he only wants to mingle with his own group, right? You call him for to attend a party or a function, he'll be like, I am not coming anywhere. He's suddenly shy, right? That is because of all the hormonal changes and the development that is happening within the child. We rarely understand that part. There is very little known about it. Actually, Maria Montessori has done a deep research on how these adolescent children are. She's really understood the need, what they are, what are their characteristics, and based on that, she suggested a prepared environment. That is the term that we use in Montessori. That is the environment which is around the child, which will bring out the best of the child.
So it is a complete different thing, I guess, than the regular thing, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
The whole environment itself is going to be different.
Right. So when we talk about the adolescent environment and all of this, she suggests that the children should be closer to nature.
Okay.
She suggests that a farm setup is the best one, where they can actually be using their hands, working with the land. That's how we all evolved, right? It was the connection with the land, right? That's somewhere we have lost in the process.
Okay.
That's something we have lost in the process. So when she suggests the farm setup, here in CREMON, we started the adolescent program this year.
Okay.
So we currently have 4 children in this age group, and because of that, we've also bought a farm in Shamshabad, where we plan to expand CREMON Montessori Life School. Okay. So that is in the pipeline. So talking about adolescent children, there are so many things that they need, right? So right now, when they would have gone through this elementary program, they know what is research work, they can study on their own, they can self-learn, right? These are the things that we have to make them aware of and use them. Instead of putting them back to the classroom, where again they are given a textbook and they have to do, they can self-learn. There's so much capacity, right? Everything works in a different way here, Manu. You would be surprised to see this. Math is always approached in one way. You're given a problem, there is a solution. Yes. All the children are solving the same thing. They come up with the same solution, and then once you have the solution, you are done, right? Here it works in a different way. There are seminars. So a problem is presented, and there are different approaches to a problem. Like when you encounter a problem, you might solve it in a different way and me in a different way. Why don't we allow the child and give them the space to think about it, right? So at that point of time when they discuss the approaches, maybe the same logic they can use for something else.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, right? It's just not math, it's going to apply for his entire life.
Yeah, and here he actually knows. If they're learning about circles, I'm just quoting an example. So why will you need a circle any time in your life, Manu? Like why do you want to find out the circumference,
or
perimeter
perimeters,
and all of that? Why would you need it? Here we create the need. When we work in the farm, apparently when we plant banana trees in a circle, it grows best. So they had to plot this circle in the farm. So for that there arose a need where they had to learn about circles, right? And now when they actually practically do it in the farm, that's something that's going to stay.
Yes. Yeah.
It's their experience.
Wonderful experience.
Yeah,
right?
it is their, they are
Hands-on.
using their hands and the knowledge. So here are three things coming into collaboration, right? It's working with the hands, the theory or whatever that they learn back here at school, and their work at farm. So that is what is the experience all about, and that's something which will stay with the child for the rest of their life. That's what we are targeting. Here we cover all the subjects and beyond, I would say. It's not only academic work, it is beyond this. So if and people are interested to know more about the adolescent program, we are available here. Please come visit us, and I would be happy to share more information about this.
But definitely, I mean, when you're coming to the age 12 to 18, right, there's this important board exams that they have to clear. And
Yes.
yeah, so that is expected of our education system.
The
right?
dreaded word, right, Manu?
Yeah.
Board exams.
Board exams. So.
You ask anyone, they will say, oh, I can't come to this party or I can't attend this. My son is in his
Lot
10th
of
grade.
stress, yeah.
I sometimes wonder, is the son or the daughter in
Daughter or
10th
the
grade
parent.
or the parent in 10th grade? But there's so much pressure, and this is all created by our society. Here, when they are learning the subjects in depth, we are equipping them for life, right? They are able to do things on their own. So board exam is just another thing for them. They have actually covered beyond it.
Okay.
So no matter what syllabus or board that they select, they would be able to handle their examinations.
Nice.
So that's how we equip them.
So you've given us a little glimpse, Nivedita, into the elementary child and the adolescent child and how this education is done for these children. But if you look at it as a holistic thing, right? So what is it that this child has actually got from this education? What does he become? What person has he become, and like what is it that this education has given him?
Correct. So the voting age for all of us is 18. Once the child is, or when he's no more a child, right? After teenage years, it's 18 and he's an adult, right? And he has the right to even vote, right? So many things that we say right after 18 he is ready for. But actually, are we preparing him for that? With these three phases being handled in the right way, he knows now how to be a part of the society. He knows, or the child knows, the 18-year-old adult that is there knows exactly how to live in the society. He has knowledge about finance, about the subjects, and there's so much clarity about himself that he actually knows what he wants in life. So with this clarity and responsibility, I think that's how we can produce, or that's how he can become a responsible citizen, right? And it is a responsibility as teachers, as parents, as guides, for us to make that child who came to this planet into a responsible citizen. I think that is where the future of our country, the future of this human race at least exists, right? So that is what we are also aiming, and if we are, all of us come together and have a strong belief in this purpose, I think we can do much more. Thank you, Manu. It was such a great conversation that I had with you. It's always great to have these kind of chats, right, where we are talking about Montessori and we share our love, passion for this subject. We are here at our elementary environment. The little ones are working on something. Let's find out what they're working on. Asmi, could you tell me what you're working on?
We are working on fungi and lichens, Auntie.
Fungi and lichens. Okay. And what are these small booklets that you're making?
Auntie, we are making these booklets about the fungi and lichens.
Okay. About fungi and leeches. And how old are you, Asmi?
And I am 7 years old.
7-year-olds here are working on fungi and leeches. Let's find out from Hania on what she is working on. Hania, what are you making? Oh, how lovely. Hania here has been working on her own timeline. I would definitely love for all of you. Hania, could you hold this for me? This shows her journey, her own timeline. I can see some lovely photos. Thank you, Hania, for sharing your work. What are you working on?
I am working on checkerboard long multiplication.
Okay, this is our Montessori math material where he is working on multiplication and he is using this material. It's called the checkerboard. Thank you, Abu. So here we have two more students, Vaishu and Vaishnavi, working on something. Would you girls like to tell me what you're working on?
Homophone story. I'm making a story.
You're making a story out of homophones.
Yeah.
Wow, how interesting. Can you show the list of words and can you tell a few lines what you've written?
Blue, and then hair, red. We use that.
Lovely. I would love to listen to your story.
A girl with a long hair had a hair. The hair ran to the sea. She went to the sea to see.
Thank you. So here we also work on geography. Here we have Shrihas and Karthik. What are you working on, Shrihas and Karthik? They're working on the Asia map. So here they have all the countries mentioned here and then they're trying to do this puzzle, the Asia puzzle. So these are our upper elementary children, Navas, Pradyu and Tanmay. Pradyu, what are you working on?
We are working on timeline of life.
Timeline of life.
Timeline of life, yeah, I'm doing Permian, medium Cretaceous, and I'm doing Jurassic.
Could you please show the camera the charts that you're making? Here we have languages, Hindi and Telugu also taught. And you can witness here how the children are learning Hindi. There are some picture cards and there are name cards here. And they find out what it is. And with that, you can see the child making her own notes about the new words that she is learning in Hindi. Here the child is actually learning the days of the week and she is actually using these cards to learn Somvar, Mangalvar and all the other days of the week. Here we have our little one Krisha who is doing some research work. Are you reading a book Krisha?
I am researching.
You're researching about what?
I am researching about insects.
About insects. So you can see how she has her own book. They do their own research and they come up with charts like this. These are all children's work, what they have come up with. What are you working on?
Squaring.
She's working on squaring. You can see how she is working on different numbers. They use the material and they come up with this. She's working on different countries in Asia, some geography work happening here. And this is what Bhavishya came up with. Thank you Janani and Bhavishya. Here are little ones, Akshara, Simra and Saudamni are working on fractions. This is our Montessori material which allows them to experience fractions and they are coming up with their own chart. We have Sanvita and Kaushik working on Telugu. Sanvita, what are you working on?
We are working on festivals and vegetables and fruits.
Okay, so you have the English word and as well as the Telugu word right here, right? Okay, this is how they use pictures and they learn names. We have Sulaiman and Anirudh working on landforms. Can you tell me what is this?
Island.
Island. And this one?
Landform.
Peninsula. And that one?
Lake.
Okay.
who inspire all our adults is this beautiful children andi with this beautiful smiling faces, and we all want to say hi there. Hi. Yeah. And we all want to thank some people in this process, and first Dr. Maria Montessori for giving us this kind of a method, and second our team who really believes in this method and have that kind of a trust and respect for the child, and the parents who believe us and also are planning to give that kind of an environment for these children and creating this environment. So thank you all, and it is not one person job only, it's like we all together only can do this, and it is possible, and it's like a we all together, yes, we all together can create this, not one person. So children, teachers, parents, we all only can create that kind of a beautiful environment anukunta andi.
Hello, please subscribe to Telugu70MM.
అందరికి నమస్కారం, నేను మీ ప్రణవ్ కౌశిక్ని. ప్లీజ్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ టు 70mm.
Hi guys, this is Ramya Pasupuleti. Please subscribe to Telugu70MM.
Hi, this is Parsuram. Please subscribe to 70mm Telugu. Thank you.
Hi everybody, నేను మీ పూజిత పొన్నాడా. Please subscribe to Telugu70mm channel.
Hi, this is Avinash. Please do subscribe Telugu70mm.
Please subscribe to Telugu70mm.